Yes, once again, I'm joined by the President of Georgia, Salome Zurabishvili. Thank you for taking your time to talk to us. Once again, international observers have reported several concerns about the election process, but have not gone as far as calling the outcome fraudulent. Why do you still not recognize the election results?
Well, first of all, the international observer missions do not condemn the legality of elections so close to the elections. They still have a lot to receive as information. Our own local observers have been very clear about the amount of incidents and the information I have received about the sophistication and the numerous forms of frauds that have been used drives me to have made the declaration that I made yesterday, because the results go against the long trend of all the opinion polls that we've had in this country, especially since the Russian law and the protests on the streets that show that the population wants to keep its European path and was supporting the pro-European forces. So this is an election that has been stolen, and I think that the Georgian people on the streets will confirm this judgment.
The Georgian Dream Party has been ruling alone, but now it has to form a coalition. The opposition says it won't work together with Georgian Dream. Wouldn't the opposition have more leverage on working with the Georgian Dream Party?
You're kidding, I think. First of all, there is no intention of the Georgian Dream to form a coalition with anyone. They have a majority. They had hoped for the constitutional majority, and I think that explains the extent of the violations, that they were aiming at having 60% in order to carry on their program, which is to first impeach the president, then put the opposition forces in jail, and judge some of the opposition parties. I don't think that it's a program for a coalition. The coalition was a program of the pro-European forces. I was intending to form, together with the four pro-European parties, a technical government in order to facilitate the beginning of this coalition. That chance was not given by the ruling party, who would have kept in any circumstances a 30% position in the parliament and would have been a democratic opposition force. That's not the path they choose. They have chosen dictatorship and not democracy.
The capital, Tbilisi, has remained calm since the election. Now you are calling for protests. What makes you sure people will answer your call?
Well, you'll be here tonight. We can look at it together.
What do you hope to achieve with this protest?
I don't have to achieve anything. I've made my judgment clear. I think that it's the Georgian people that has to support this judgment, because they are the ones that have seen their votes being stolen. They are the ones that are driven by force into a regime that will be more like Russia rather than like a European democratic country. The people are going to leave if that is not reversed, and human rights and freedoms are going to be under great challenge.
If peaceful protests don't achieve the goals, what then?
Well, I cannot predict the future. I think that you do not always start protests, and especially peaceful, as it's the case in this country, with being sure that you're going to achieve your aim. I think there are many different strategies. I think political parties are thinking about asking for renewed elections, and probably with the support of our European partners, so that we are sure that they are transparent and fair. They're also gathering more analysis of what has happened in order to really bring the testimonies in shape. So political parties will have to devise a strategy. I'm here to be as long as I can, because that might not be forever, but to be the one independent institution in this country that will, to the end, fight this path towards dictatorship.
The ruling party positions itself as the only force that can keep the peace with Russia. That's important to many Georgians who want to prevent a war like in Ukraine. What would you say to those people?
I would say to those people that there is no Georgian that wants a war, because we have known more than one war, not only with Russia, but essentially the last 2 centuries with Russia. So that's a common concern, I would say, of the whole population. But we also know that the only country that can start war is Russia, and that the only thing that can protect this country from war is internal stability, its democracy, and its path towards Europe.
What's at stake for Georgia right now?
Its future.
And what do you expect from the EU in this situation? What specific steps do you want to see from Brussels, Madam President?
I think Brussels has to be very clear, as it was after the Russian law, about what it was asking from this government to deliver the recommendations that were made by the European Commission, the rejection of all the Russian laws, and to hold free and fair elections. I think the government has not delivered on any of these promises, or not promises, and as on the contrary, as a electoral promised to arrest opposition leaders, to constrain the civil society, and to put under control the media. I don't think that it's something that is acceptable by European partners.
And the very last question. Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban is coming tonight. Hungary currently holds the presidency of the European Council. Orban has already congratulated the Georgian Dream on its election and victory. What's your take on this, on his visit?
I don't think he has any mandate from the European Union, and I think that it's very clear for the Georgian population that it's very politically aware that if he comes, he only comes as a friend of the current ruling majority in a new attempt to psychologically impress the population. But we are more resilient than that.
Salome Zurabishvili, the President of Georgia. Thank you very much, Madam President.
Thank you.